Good evening, cerebral parasites, and welcome to the Maggot Has a 40-inch Dick Show.
Wow, those are inches? I'm way off. I thought those were called millimeters.
You also thought you had a head. Tonight our guest is the legendary mercenary Archon Achilles, well known for his recent role in the Antares Purge and countless other mercenary and paramilitary campaigns. He is, in fact, one of the few people who could potentially survive being on my show, even if he did annoy me, at least for a few seconds. And I don't think I need to tell you that that's roughly equivalent to surviving in the core of the sun.
I'd say something witty about you having a crush on him, but I think the speech center of my brain is split in half. Wait, then how am I saying this? Oh, right, my logic center is blown away too. That explains it.
I just don't have the words, which is kind of ironic. Anyway, welcome to the show, Archon.
Thank you, Maggot. It's always nice to find someone whose kill score is almost as high as mine.
And it's always nice to meet someone whose ego is almost as big as mine, but who actually has a good reason for it. Though I don't think our kill scores quite scale.
How so?
Well, you are on record as having over 980 kills, not including Gigums or Mezu, since, let's face it, they're all trash mobs. That wouldn't be all that impressive, but most of your kills have been 100k bounties, capital ships, or other mercenaries ranked at ace level or above. Thus, your 980 kills count for considerably more than typical pirate kills. But my kills, on the other hand, consist primarily of planetary biospheres and call centers.
You know what really scares me about you, Maggot? It's not actually that you vaporize planets. It's that, from what I've heard, your daughters have destroyed more of them than you have.
Not daughters so much as one daughter in particular.
Yes, the infamous Vaglotta the Infant Stomper.
Yeah, I think she just needs to learn to be comfortable with herself. Though I'm pretty sure as soon as she hears I said that, she's going to try to assassinate me again. But then, I probably would too.
I'd like to get comfortable with Vaglotta.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, duh! I made that innuendo mostly out of obligation to my creed. I am fully aware that, were I to attempt to have sex with your daughter, I would have nothing whatsoever to fear from you, because there would be nothing left of me for you to punish. Granted, it has always been one of my lifelong dreams to be sexed to death, but still.
Yes, the Brotherhood of the Mangled Willy has an entire book dedicated exclusively to Maggotonian women.
Yeah, and I've looked at that book. It's scarier than the article they have on Power Sanders.
So it's true then. Your daughter has tried to take your throne.
In roughly the same sense that Frugal has tried to have sex.
She tries to assassinate you with chloroform and goats?
I meant more in the sense that she tries to do it about 900 times a day.
But that would be freaking hilarious.
Did you just use the word freaking?
You're not the boss of me. I'll say fudge diddly darn if I want to. So shut your trap, duty head.
Nigel did this to you, didn't he?
Nah, I just felt like being random.
Speaking of which, is he going to be coming down for your inevitably traumatic version of Christmas this year?
No. This year we're doing kind of a roundabout gift exchange. Each of us is drawing a name out of a hat and putting a hit out on that person. Then we split up the estates of any of us who are dumb enough to actually get killed.
And you're going to put your hit out on Nigel no matter whose name you draw, right?
Well, I was, but now that everybody in the galaxy knows, it's gonna be a bit hard now, isn't it?
I weep openly for you.
Maggot, the only time I've ever seen you weep at anything was when Pope Kaz the 918th invaded Zuri Gia, and you were weeping with laughter.
Yeah, those were good times. For the benefit of our Orion listeners who often don't know what Zuri Gia even is, Despite being physically closer to it than any other sector, Zuri Gia is a planet of militant transvestites, and Kazia is a planet of violent, psychotically horny beavers. The conflict began when the Supreme Intergalactic Confederation of Fundamentally Unified Kazian Republics, also known as the Sick Fucker, attacked the Zurigian homeworld in an attempt to convert them to whatever the hell the Kazians are calling their depraved version of Catholicism.
Face it, they're Gazpork worshippers with crosses.
Pretty much. The attack began with the Kazians making a massive combat drop into Zurigia's atmosphere. This tactic proved largely unsuccessful, as the Kazians' dropships consisted primarily of cardboard refrigerator boxes. They all died horribly, except for one, who somehow landed successfully and killed over 4 million Zurigians by himself with nothing but a tube of toothpaste, and even I have no idea how that happened. The Zurigians counterattacked the Sick Fucker fleet with a squadron of boarding shuttles filled with elite high ninnies, but that attack was likewise unsuccessful. You see, Zurigians are extremely sensitive to fashion. So much so that being exposed to bad fashion causes them not only psychological but also literal physical damage. Unfortunately for them, the first ship they hit with their boarding parties was the USS Cosplay, where almost every member of the crew was dressed up as Sailor Moon. Hearing about the horrific casualties on that ship caused the rest of the squadron to break off. The Kazians' next move was originally going to be to broadside the Zurigian fleet with their ship-to-ship weapons, but that didn't last very long, as half of the Kazians quickly decided it would be funnier to fire Ziploc bags full of feces at them. As you can imagine, a plastic baggie full of flaming poo doesn't mesh terribly well with the firing mechanism of a railgun, so they wasted most of their potential firepower while the Zurigians retaliated with actual weapons firing actually destructive things. Soon, all of the Kazians' weapons were either destroyed or clogged with burning shit, so the entire fleet had no choice but to begin a massive landing operation. For some reason, they didn't see any problem with the concept of using the actual commercial starports on Zuri Gia as their landing sites. Ironically, by happy accident, half of the commercial starports on the planet were owned by III, who wouldn't let the Zurigians fire on them for fear of damaging III property. Thus, roughly 10 bajillion Kazians, armed with everything from plasma cannons to giant microwaves with handcuffs in them, flooded out of the starports and into the major cities, causing more chaos than the galaxy had seen since my diplomatic shuttle passed through customs on a phallus earlier that morning. Unfortunately for the Kazians, most of them quickly forgot why they were there and started randomly killing each other in addition to the Zurigians. Between this and the swift response of the Zurigian military, the Kazian forces broke and were forced to retreat. As one desperate act in the face of impending defeat, Pope Kaz decided to simply burn the heretics by hurling their homeworld into the sun. They did this by trying to pull it. With their hands.
Classic.
With wars going on like this, you can see how the Self-Gratification Consortium manages to be the most powerful military force in the galaxy. Their only problem is they never wear clothes during shore leave.
Hey, clothes take time to take off. It's a legitimate time management decision.
Whatever. That's it for the Maggott Show this week. Tune in next time or be stitched into a